Yes, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. I'm excited about another day, as always. New day, new opportunities to do this thing called life, one day at a time. Or as the rappers back in the day used to say, one time for your mind. I don't know what, so one time for your mind, but put up two fingers. One time for your mind, two times for your mind. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. I want to say good morning to Denise. Good morning to Marcy. Over here hanging out with me on the House of the Club. The House of the Club. This is Clubhouse. Also want to say good morning to Rich. Good morning to Jan. Denise Park says, morning fam. Good to see you. Hope that your weekend was well. Hope to chat it up about that a little bit in a few. And I hope that this day is off to a good one so far for you. Welcome. I had a great weekend. OMG. Self-care weekend, self-care week last week, to be honest. But that didn't mean taking off, though. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. What it meant was taking solace in the things that's important to me, like self-care. Had fun yesterday, too, in the 5M experience. The 5M fellowship, which is every Sunday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Clubhouse, and also Facebook, YouTube. Music, movement, mindfulness, meditation, mantra. I'm excited about this because I'm actually building an app right now that relates to all of that. And I really feel like it's going to be my biggest contribution to humanity. I know that's saying a lot. But I promise you, once you start seeing this thing unfold, I think I might make a believer out of you. The 5M experience. An app that's going to be on your home screen real soon. I was watching some videos this morning on how to build an app with no code, easy solutions, things like Appify and I think it was Aldo, Bubble.io, and a few other ones, even WordPress, even though I probably won't go that route. I really feel like the future of all of us as creators is that the way to go is for us to have our own app, our own interactive environment. This is one of those times where I feel like, and this has happened before, so now I'm just kind of calling it for what it is. This on some ESP shit. It's on some ESP shit. Real talk. It's when I have an idea, and it's before it becomes popular. Related to business, related to brand, marketing, and these kind of things. I just have an eye for them because of a number of things, but one of which is coming from, well, first I'll go back to the source, with the source, which is mom. Education and exposure from the times that my eyes were open, like as a little baby. Education and exposure. But then on top of that, you fast forward to 2007, and then I have an idea to build a company, and I'm studying business and I'm studying psychology as far as the psychology of people and the psychology of business, and I'm studying things like experiential marketing, which didn't even know that that's what it was called at that time. It was just the way I saw it through my eyes. but to learn things like experiential marketing or, things like social media, to have the opportunity at 21 to go full-time as a musician, which would give me so much playtime. I would take my 40-hour a week work week at the auto parts store and switch it over to 40 hours of music, study, and practice every week for my new job that actually only took 10 hours out of that 40, which means I had 30 to play with every week. 2003 was an amazing year for that reason. But fast forward, I would put together a few business ideas that would go on to really do well. And I would see trends and see things and kind of put it all together with this math mind, this music mind, this producer's mind, and also coming from an industry, the music industry, where you have A&R reps and where they can see something, can spot a good idea a mile away. So what I really think is that the future is that us as creators, Marcy, you as a creator, myself as a creator, Coco, Ama, Sherry, Denise, all of us as creatives, for our businesses, as well as for our hobbies, or more so like our passions, I think we'll have our own app. Because what you're able to do is to take whatever you already do on all these other platforms and make it more focused so that it can have a deeper impact. It's not that you don't already have an impact. It's not that I don't already have an impact. It's just that when you stack it in the middle of a news feed along with other posts that are unrelated and distracting, and that means you're in our experience, you're deep in it, but then something pulls you off. So you don't get the real full benefit of what we bring to the table. This is something that I realized. I'm looking at my Facebook, I'm looking at my YouTube, I'm looking at my Instagram, my TikTok. Everything is like, I'm doing everything I need to. And it's working. But I'm like, I still feel like it's something missing here. And so the other day, as I was working on some things, it dawned on me. I was like, that's what it is. It's that we need a bottleneck. And that bottleneck is where the experiences that we have, whether we were dealing with real estate and helping people with that, and also bringing them smiles at the same time through our paintings and through our fun self-care times on the beach, just enjoying life. Or whether it be a musician who also is a motivator, who also writes quotes, who also has meditation and self-care techniques and mindfulness techniques to help and share people with. Or whether it's the motivational speaker who not only is just a dynamic speaker and someone who's also a trainer, so you can come to for consultation service and coaching, but she also is really funny as well and is really inspiring and writes books and these kind of things too. A website won't do. That's the thing. It's what I realize is why I'm having this premonition, so to speak. The website is just a place where you just really come for information. And yes, it's a little interactive because you can put a couple videos on it and they can autoplay. But it's still different than when you're creators or service providers like us and when you bring something to the people. They have to sort through or find you or click a link and follow through several other steps before they finally get your information. Whatever the information is, it could just be a quote, it could be an inspirational thought, it could be a service, a product offering. But they gotta weave through, they gotta go through the web to get to you. And then, like I realized 5 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a website, but I'm gonna make it just like almost like literally just a landing page pointing out to all my social media, because the social environment is where the people are. Hello, people. The social environment. This is where we're spending our time, on the places where we can interact with the creator live in real time. Or if it's not in real time, at least it's the very last thought that they had about an hour ago that just was so motivating or inspiring, and they decided to write a status update about it, or to share a quick picture about it, and it brightened your day, or it kept the train moving. We're all in these social environments. So websites will just placeholders of information, and apps will be our new websites, because it'll be a way to come into our world without having to go into another world first, and then search for us at Aaron Hill TV, and then not get stopped by the crazy outlandish video that you can't unsee, and then something else that you like, but that you'll get to it later, but you decide not to because it's too many bright colors. So then you miss the point of why you even came in, and then somebody says something off the rails that made you say, you know what, I'm about to take a break from social media because people on here crazy as hell. But really the deal is you're just not minding your own damn business and staying focused and coming right to the experience. But the other side of that coin too is that for creators like me and you, it's actually just too far of a place just to come to our home, just to step inside our door. So Marcy, Denise, Tyrone, Caesar, Jan, our websites of tomorrow will be us having our own app. And what I'm finding is that you can do it at relatively no cost, because they have no code versions out here. That's basically drag and drop, and you're up and running in no time with something decent and that's functional. I would advise you to highly think about this. So yeah, the 5M Experience is going to be the name of my app. The 5M Experience by Aaron Hill. Music, movement, meditation, mindfulness, and mantra. You'll be able to click in and dive right in and experience. So I want to refresh the room. I want to say good morning again. And I want to say hello to my friend, Marcy. Marcy, if you would like to come up to the stage, by all means, would love to say good morning to you. Would love to hear your thoughts, especially about these things I've said so far, because, yeah, Marcy, we're on the same vibration, and I can imagine that in some way I spoke something to you. Good morning, Marcy. How are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Marcy. I'm pretty good. As they say, all good in the hood.
Yes.
Yeah, Marcy, as you can see and as you hear, like, I'm just over here on this thought process. Several years ago, before I started my podcast, the revelation that was like made me dive right in on it and was excited about it was that I have these brainstorms. I also learn a lot of things and I like to share. And I was like, you know what? As opposed to just going over these things in my head, or in my case, sometimes even saying them out loud, I'd rather just do this in a way where other people who can benefit from the brainstorm, from the random thought, from the serendipity and the intention of what I'm doing and what I'm feeling. And so I started that in a podcast. And then fast forward, I continue to do that across social media. So here in this moment, I'm like, here we go again. So I'm just great, Marcy. And I was, even in sharing just now, you can hear the passion in my voice because I really feel strongly about it. But I'm also excited to be able to be at the place to share, to have people right there because of the serendipity that I know this sharing is right for. So yeah, this app thing is on my mind because I know what I'm feeling And I'm on it now, and I'm getting ready to start moving on it. And I'm excited to start telling some of my coolest friends and coolest people around me about it, because I believe I'm having another one of those times where I'm seeing into the future before it gets here, like on the majority level. And I think it's going to be something we can all benefit from.
I agree. You actually tapped directly into my brain, as I have spent the past 2 weeks not getting sleep, trying to develop my website, my business. And I said, there has to be an easier way. I have to get an app. I've got to do this. And honest to goodness, this is the message I needed, I'd say, a month ago. Because I would have not had so many sleepless nights. I haven't even launched the website yet.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, while I'm almost like ready to drop it tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm hearing your message right now.
Yes.
Saying, wait a second, I need him to host a good day and a half of the conversation.
Yes.
Sites are beneficial for people who love to launch apps instead of websites, because what I just went through, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm literally in shock that you're saying this today, because you've noticed how I've been in and out of the rooms in the mornings, and it's because I'm either on my 8:30 call, right, or I'm actually in the tub soaking, because I only slept 4 hours, right, because I'm building a website.
Oh my goodness.
And this has been my past 2 weeks. And I'm just like, I'm shocked that this is what you just said this morning. You absolutely have no idea.
I'm okay.
Just like, wow.
Here's this, like, we're both in this moment, like, feeling the same thing. I'm gonna tell you something. On one hand, you're right when you say I absolutely have no idea. And it's only for one basic and just obvious fact. And that is that I'm not Marcy, like literally Marcy, to feel that feeling, right? But then on the exact flip side is the exact opposite, that I have more than absolutely an idea. I'm so aware about it because I am Marcy. And the reason, you know, from just how we rock day to day, what I mean and what I'm saying when I say that. That's why, look, when I was talking, even in saying that, and you know me, my number one quote is going on my next mug: serendipity plus intention equals life. Now that equals all the life that we know. When amazing things like this happen, and when shit that we don't feel good about and don't like and don't think it's supposed to happen happens, it's the same thing as serendipity plus intention equals life. I like to think about it in these moments because it's when it crystallizes. It's when I know the truth, and I always do things so that I can see it all, so I can see it again and again and again. It's like having the Midas touch, knowing your power, that you have the power to point at anything and turn it into gold. And so from that point, it'd be like, okay, so you be like, boom, that's what I do, and it'd be no big thing. But imagine you still have the mindset, like, I can't believe that I can point my finger out and turn shit into gold. And so it's equally still amazing to you. It's why I always say, then when beautiful moments like this happen in life, I'm never surprised because it's what I know, but I'm always amazed again. Like, damn, this shit is amazing. So I know exactly what you're saying, and here's why. As I've been having this thought, and as I've been going about my journey over the past couple of weeks, and as this has crystallized like in the last week, but before that, it was all the thoughts leading to that, all the other things that related, that was the same underlying thing, but it was just that one day when it hit me, when I was like, it's that app. That's what it is. Up until that time, or even going through that time, you and I have actually talked several times, even going back to the hot seat conversation, right? And I have a memory like an elephant, and every experience I have is, I'm so present in it that it's like a footprint in my body, in my mind. It's like when it comes to music, as a musician, every song that I've ever learned and I'm talking about the thousands of songs. At some point, I was writing down music, and then I stopped writing down music because I wanted to get it in my body. So every song that I ever play, no matter how many years ago, even if I only played it one time, not only do I remember that song and everything about that song, but I also remember exactly what key that song was in. I can remember the mood of the place. I can remember the people that was around, what they had on, and everything. Because that's the place I go when it comes to getting deep in experience. So it has a footprint in my mind, in my heart, in my body, even when I continue on life. After you and I had that conversation and we talked about, and it was so fun because we got a chance to talk about you being able to shift your focus, not worry as much about the logo piece, and dive more into the low-hanging fruit piece and starting to interview people and connect and be able to bring value that way, which would naturally pull the employer and the employee together. You were the link in the middle, and you created conversations that put those audiences on both sides of that. That's who you are. That's who you are. You're like the Oprah Winfrey of this thing, where it's you in the middle, and on one side is this audience where there's a need, a problem to be solved, and then on the other side is the problem solver, and all the conversations, so that the two audiences are actually in the same space, whether it be physical space when the world is up and running and we're back to that flow again, or whether it's phone call space, right? It's that, right? So as I'm thinking back to that conversation, then I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I remembered everything about that conversation, and I even had more thoughts, even while I continue on. It just, things keep going because I get so invested in people's goals and their dreams and that kind of thing. I'm like, I'm addicted to it. I just enjoy it. So as I was tracking and as things were coming together for me, I kept thinking about you. And over the last week, when I came to that app thing, and there's several people around me where I'm like, this is what it is for them. You were one of them. And I knew, even with how I saw it for myself, how I see it for you as well. The flow of being able to take all your amazing, inspiring thoughts and helpful, solid thoughts, really solid. Not only, it's what I call utility meets artistry. This is what I'm talking about even around my own app and what I'm building here and what is going to make it successful. Utility meets artistry. And so when I think about that with you, all of from your advice to your tips to your information to your beautiful smile and beautiful personality, in the form of being able to come into your doorway as soon as a person swipes up and unlocks their screen, is going to literally make the difference between things that you have put out that has, because of the environment, because of the space that's occupied by others, because it's in the midst of an environment with a million other things going on, is the only reason why I got overlooked or missed. Literally, the algorithm, the serendipity plus intention, which equaled life. But in that time, it was that the person came in right when your amazing thing passed right by them on the timeline. Yes, Marcy. Yes.
I said it right there.
Yes. And so this is why coming into your door, and immediately that's the only thing you're there for, is what's going to make the difference for you and for me. And maybe even for Miss Word and everybody that's listening to this, everybody on Facebook and YouTube. This is what it is. Because what happens from there, Marcy, is that, okay, if you've heard me talk about this before, Marcy, and Miss Word, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this. 10% happier. Marcy, you heard me speak about the 10% happier app that I downloaded. That's a meditation and mindfulness app, and I built an entire online journey around self-care around this. You remember me speaking about that, right?
Yes.
Right. So I've been using that app for 2 years. Before I got into it, I couldn't wait to get into it because of really the same thing I'm saying here. Even though at that time I wasn't thinking about it for myself, like for me. I got this app, and the app, for those that don't know, just quick context. 10% Happier is a mindfulness and meditation app. It's an app that is created by Dan Harris, former news anchor. I think it was NBC. He had a panic attack on air because of a number of things, as you can imagine, being a high-profile reporter. And it took him on a journey around the world to study meditation and mindfulness with all the quote-unquote gurus of the world. And I say quote-unquote and do that with the air quotes for everybody watching, because it was really funny how the journey panned out. Basically, in a nutshell, he learned a lot from what they had to say that could be backed up by science. And then some of the other things that were a bit far out, a bit in the unfalsifiable realm and that kind of thing, it wasn't necessarily for him. But what he realized was out of that would come an idea where he would build an app that was for all people. And it was about this concept of being 10% happier through meditation and mindfulness. So this app is filled with meditation courses by different authors that Dan connects with, and each course has, for each meditative or each lesson, as they call it, it has a short video that plays first with Dan and the person just talking, just having a regular conversation where Dan is inquiring about these things. And it's real relaxed. It's just real cool. It feels really good. That's about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes, usually about 2 or 3 minutes. Then it automatically switches over from there. And you see at the top of your screen a lever that switches over from learn to meditate. And then that flips over straight into just audio. And then that person talks to you even further about the topic that they were chopping up about, and then goes into a meditation. And then from there, when you finish, you come out of that, and then it'll show you immediately, like it tracks your progress, or it helps you to track your progress so that you can feel successful. So it tells you, like, look, you spent this amount of time on here. Wow, this is amazing. And you've done these things. Wow, you're doing great. Makes you feel good, and then boom, you go back, and then you can go from there. There's a sleep category, there's a talks category, there's a category for linking out. So this environment, when I get into this environment, I don't think about anything else, because what I'm walking in there for is all around me. So I don't have to dig for it and go through several posts and try to scroll and try to figure out which one she mentioned, and then, like it, and then figure out what link to go to from there. Like, it's just literally right there. And so that app had changed my life, but when I got into it, it was amazing. And the one thing was, like, wow, this app is amazing. The only thing that's missing is music, because it's an amazing app. And when I listen to it, I'm caught up. And so I was like, I'm gonna reach out to them and see about being a musical contributor. And so I've been pondering on that, and I believe that that's still gonna actually happen. I believe it's gonna happen in a reverse order than I thought, which is that I think I'm gonna build my app first and then reach out to them. Because that's the next thing that came up for me, months later, where I was like, this is what it is for me. It's that environment. And then I started seeing, this is what it is, just period, for all of us. So Marcy, what I'm saying to you is that the serendipity plus intention equals exactly this moment. And even when I pinged you in, it's because I know we're gonna talk about something and catch up about something that's gonna be productive, gonna be just all that. And it's been my intention, I've been saying it every day, to talk about this app. So this is what it is for you, Marcy. And here's the thing. You're gonna benefit from it because, again, a mobile website is pretty much a stale environment right now. And it's not because, thank you, Marcy, and it's not because websites aren't good, and it's not because it's not because you can't go to the level of building even something pretty dynamic. It's not that. It doesn't come to you. You have to go to it, and it doesn't come to you. So the thing with the app, Marcy, is that your affirmations that are within the stuff that you put up in between the services, now you can have this here in this app where those affirmations come at the person, say like every 3 hours, in the form of just an affirmation notification, just one that pops up and says you are loved or you can do it or something like that. And that right there is actually more usable and user friendly for the people that are actually your super fans and your customers, the ones that you already even have. Yes, Marcy. Yes. And so that, if you get a chance, Marcy, and Miss Word as well, and Denise and Tyrone, everybody's here, download the I Am app. It's a real simple app on your phone. I mean, in the store that you can download. That all it is just I am statements. I downloaded this the other day because I was helping Sherry Goodall, who you all know that I'm helping out in the same way with her brand. And I was talking about the same thing and an app for her. And we were building it and thinking about it around one of the biggest parts of her brand, which is in the midst of being a digital marketer and having consulting services and these kind of things. In the midst of that, she also is just a woman who has a vibrant personality, who's just putting one foot in front of the other every day and inspiring others because of the fact that she walked away from her job and decided to pursue her dream. And it was a motivating thing, and it's been a motivating thing. But I'm like, if we look at this app, look at this, because I think that this is going to have a clue. And when it came up that what this app does is just send you I am notifications on the hour or whenever you want it. And I was like, this right here, you take this and then we put this in the form of an app where your entire world is here, but your affirmations and stuff that you're putting out there, they're here with people walk into your doorway. And here's the other part about it, Marcy, that's so good. It immediately, I'm talking about all the stuff that it brings value to people, because that's all I spend my time on. I know that is the thing that makes everything work. That's been the story of my life. The thing about it is, Marcy, it's guaranteed income from there, because of the fact that this is immediately a subscription thing, because of the fact that you're creating more focused content now, and people are coming in for an experience. This is the reason why with this 10% Happier app, I have never thought about this thing after I subscribed to it. In fact, as soon as I paid for it, I was like, I already knew. I was like, this thing is going to pay for itself 10 times over. And that's why I submerged myself in it. I continue to do what I've been doing. And then it came together recently. So yes, Marcy, is the app, the website is still going to be a place where through this app, you'll be able to link to. Like, for instance, one of my pages inside my app, and this is a big problem solver. Listen to this. And I'm sorry. In fact, Miss Word, I apologize for the delay. I'm going to definitely jump in with you in a few minutes. And thank you so much for your patience. My apologies. Just one of these moments. So think about this for a second. How many times do people come to you and you're having a great conversation with them? They're happy about everything you're saying. And they're like, wow, okay, so where do I follow you? And then you start giving out handles for various places that are spread out. And even though they're inside one place in the phone, but they're still spread out they're too spread out in thought. So you give them that and you tell them, oh, it's here. But then in some cases over here, find me at a different name, and it equals some people remembering, it equals only half or less than that following through. It doesn't link together. How amazing would it be right now, even just as one basic feature, for me to click on, Marcy, whatever the name of your app would be, whatever comes to your mind as far as just, your business name or anything. Imagine even if I download this for free, it's just a free app at this point. I touch it. And when I open it, there's literally a link. I mean, not a link, I'm sorry, a tab that says like social media or whatever. And when I touch that, the screen, it opens up to where it looks like almost like a home screen with apps on it, but it's not apps. It's just the pictures. It's just the icons of the different social media platforms. And so if the person wants to go to my Facebook, they just click on Facebook there. If they want to go to my Instagram, hit Instagram there. But I don't have to tell them handles anymore. Now I have to say, if they're like, where do I find you on social media? I'm like, oh, just download the 5M Experience app. That's it. And even before subscription, they're going to download it, the free version, because it's just, now you don't have to search for me everywhere and go to a platform and then type in my name and then go to another one and type in my name and try to avoid seeing all the stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna stop there, Marcy. Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts with that, and then we'll keep this thing going.
I absolutely love it. I'm like sitting on the edge of the bed right now saying to myself, I really wish I had this a couple weeks ago, because I wanted to develop an app, but I was looking for something that was cost effective,
right,
and was a drag and drop and didn't require any, embedding API or
right,
any kind of special development. So I got tons of ebooks, and I give this stuff away for free. I've got tons of information.
Right.
And I want to be able to just give this information in one place, instead of dripping it on social media. And I gotta go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, everywhere.
Yes.
Even Snapchat I'm on, because I have a very young following.
Yes.
And I'm just saying to myself, like, okay, so I'm on 5 platforms. So if I post on IG, I can push it to Facebook, but it pushes to my business page.
Right.
Now I've got to go to my personal page and push it there.
Right.
Because I know people personally that are looking for employment.
Right.
So then I got to go from there and repost somewhere else, even though it's the same exact thing. I don't want it to say it was connected through Instagram. I want it to look fresh and authentic.
Yes.
So why can't I have one app?
Just the one app.
I know when they come to my app, they're looking just for me.
Just for you.
They're not scrolling for everything to find where I posted. To get my little nugget of the day or of the hour or of the morning. And it's like, oh my goodness, just hearing what you were saying, just totally.
Yes.
I'm telling you now, I've already soaked in everything. And as soon as you said that, I sat up and I said, oh, this is it right here.
Yes.
I've got to get in on this. I've got to know what platform works best.
Yes.
For me to be able to reach that audience, because it's unreal.
Right. This is what it is, Marcy. And for we're gonna keep chopping up about this even right now, because I'm so passionate about this. So I'm already starting to research the no-code apps, because as soon as I thought about this the other day, I was like, I got happy immediately, because I knew that the very next thing, as far as me researching to find out the answer, I knew I was going to find the answer right away because I thought about the times that we were in. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm having this thought now. Why we're in times where I know this is already built as far as the easy way in, the accessible way in, especially for us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as people who are, doing what we're doing, but don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in an app or anything else to build on that level. But we do need something that's functional and where we can get this thing moving. And I knew the solution was going to be there. When I started researching the info, I came across this one video, I think, or article where there was someone who predicted this several years ago, where they were like, and it was an app developer. They were like, we don't think that they said the future app developers will be just like regular people, and not app developers. How am I trying to say this? In the near future, they were saying the people who will not only need apps, but who need who will be building their own apps, it should be the entrepreneur, the teacher, the musician, and so they were saying that at that point we needed the accessible versions for things, because just like websites, it's the same thing. Now, you don't need to hire a super developer or engineer to build a website. You can take it into your own hands and have a lot of the work already done for you and have something that meets your professional touch and all that kind of stuff. So the app is where it is right now. So I started researching. There's several. In fact, I was watching a video this morning, and now I'm going to be looking to narrow it down to see which one I go with. And so we're going to stay on this journey together in that, because I'm going to be feeding you all that information. And I like what you just said, because Sherry and I have, the consulting business together. It's called Refresh now, and we are getting ready to start building out our intensive day trainings that are basically these several hour sessions where we sit down with a handful of people and we go ahead and do brand strategy there with them. We show them, we work with everyone. And so with what you just said, I was like, boom, there it is right there. Because I'm going to start talking about this and have symposiums around this so that I can spread this information, so that I can help people to start thinking in this direction. Because Marcy, it is the solution. It is. What will happen from here, Marcy, for you is that, say, like the young audience that's a part of your your brand, a part of your audience, they will see you on TikTok. Here's the thing, though, they will come through your app and they will go to your other places. But what you'll start doing, Marcy, is being able to have a focused approach on just building a much smaller amount of content for one location that then just pours out from there. Yeah. So there are free tools. There are tools that are definitely on the accessible end of the scale, because what I realize and why I'm so excited about this for myself and for us together is, all I've ever needed was just the ability to plant the seed, like to just do something that I could take into my own hands and that I could learn what I need to learn and get it off the ground, because my idea would take it from there. I knew that and this is what I did with my company, Fruition Music. In fact, the one I was telling my good brother Meyer about. Good morning, Meyer. This is what I did with that company. I had an idea, and I knew that all I needed to do was to take that idea, and I just needed, Marcy, I just needed to be able to get it off the ground. And I knew then my idea, because I believed in it so much, that I knew that it would generate the money needed to then go ahead and reinvest back into it, make it even better. And then boom, the idea work again, it would generate more money, and it just keep being a thing. I didn't need to get it off the ground. I'm excited because even before I started researching, I knew that the solutions were going to be there for us, Marcy, to get this kind of thing off the ground, for us to be able to take a day or two and simply build something through drag or drop. But we're willing to put in the time that we already fucking put in the time. That's why I love, like, you said it earlier. And that's why my reaction was like, oh my gosh, this is it. We're already willing to put in the time. It's just that if we know something is going to work, then it gives us that much more energy, that much more drive, that much more, let's get it, let's do it. That's where you and I are right now, Marcy. We're at that exact place together for both of our life paths. So I'm happy about this moment.
I'm just super excited. I'm really, really excited to release the website.
Mm-hmm.
And they do offer, I mean, it comes with the accessibility to use it as an app, but they own it.
Right.
That's my content on someone else's platform, and they own it.
Yeah.
So even if I wipe it clean, I don't know if it's really gone, because they have a server that backs up every single day, every couple hours, and my stuff is already out there. They're not going to resell it, but the fact is they will have it.
Sure, so for sure.
How does that leave me when I've spent, as I just mentioned, 2 whole weeks of staying up past midnight when I work a full-time job, when I have a family to take care of and all of that? It's like, why couldn't I find this magical place to just put it all so that I don't have to go everywhere else and say, hey, follow me here, hey, follow me there, hey, do this, do that. So it's like, it's unreal. Right.
That's so, Marcy, that's you're right. That's why this moment is so amazing, because you're right at the right place. Here's one, and I'm DMing you right now. I just sent you the wrong vid. Hold on. I'm DMing you right now, and I'm sending you one of the videos that I was watching this morning. I want you to do a couple things if you can, and this is how we go forward in this journey. So, first thing is, when you get a chance today, or if you get a chance today, look up on your phone the 10% Happier app and download the app. Even if you don't subscribe to it, it would definitely be a good thing, I think, just from everything we talk about. But that's not my point with this. I want you to download the app because I want you to, like, it's like a two. It's like you get two. It's a twofer. I want you to go into the app and use it, and, like, look through the material, listen to the meditations, listen to the talks, like, look at the videos, enjoy them. Because everything we're talking about, when you do that and inside this app, I want you're going to see exactly your business, and you're going to see everything I'm talking about, but not just see it, you're going to experience it. And in the process, you're actually going to get some fun self-care stuff in. But if you could download that app, because when we keep talking, that'll be a point of reference. That app has a number of other features that we all would be great for us no matter what we do. So I want you to experience it. And then that way, as we're talking about it, we'll have that point of reference. You'll have that point of reference experientially. And I just sent you the video as well to check out. But this is definitely it, Marcy. And there's one more thing I want to say. Okay, it was this. With going in this direction. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. I know what you just said about hosting on other servers, right? In fact, that was a part of one of the videos I watched this morning. They said something there which was kind of where my mind was going even before they said it. So it was kind of like confirmation, at least on just, a thought that I had. For many of us, the reality may be that we have to get this whole thing started by using a more flexible, accessible, and affordable tool, which, yes, does mean our stuff is on someone else's server. And the code, if you're going to build it, you lift the code from there, and, you would have you would create it or have a developer to build it and put everything on another place. I guess I want to say that I want to invite you to not worry about that as much, because what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing for myself, is that the benefit of this, whether it's the app that's connected to the website, and I think we should play with that so we could even see like what features it has and, and that kind of thing. Whether it's that, or whether it's you go on one of these other methods, I think just the fact that this experience is about to be created and you get a chance to start pulling these things together and focusing means that you service your target customer and your target superfan much better, which means that your services do much better and your message goes much deeper and it gets there, which means that snowball means that everything works together. And then before you know it, you have a business that's thriving. And then because you're in this and you like, now it makes sense to you and you're doing it, and then you being a creative, you start to see it and then see the other ideas. It just means to me that by the time it's time for us to sink some deep money into it and have some really beautiful personalized customization, it goes past, what these beautiful things can offer. And when it's time for us to just lift it up and put it in a new home, I think the success of everything from being with it on this level is going to put us right at the place needed financially to literally lift up everything. And now I know the other thing you were saying was, but how do I know that they're going to wipe it from their server? You don't. But at the same time, I don't think that the reality is, I don't think that when I weigh the pros and cons, I don't think that the way would be to just wait until you had, enough money to really sink some money into this. Because again, if you're like me, it's like, I want to be involved on this level, because what's going to happen is, if you're involved on this level with something that's relatively flexible, it's about how you get a chance to put your mind into it and be involved directly into it from every nugget. So you'll learn more about yourself. You'll learn more about what you want to do in this environment now that you see it for what it is and have experienced it. It'll just give you and even as far as how you're telling the future developers what you want, you'll be telling them based off your experience. So I think you should, at some level, just go ahead, forge ahead, not worry about the fact that it's on the other thing, and then just work it, make it do what it do, so that way you can benefit off of this phase, and then take your finances from there, and then boom, go ahead and hire a serious developer when this thing makes sense, because that's the same thing that I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm not sure what you think about that, but I just wanted to offer you that.
Absolutely. I think that is the best way to go as well, because right now, if my site is being hosted by Kajabi, and right, that is like one of the higher end hosting sites that run $199 a month, and they also have the app that's provided. So once your target audience actually downloads the app, they have access to you directly, so they don't have to jump into social media. But I don't want to pay $199 a month forever for them to host it for.
For sure. Right. 100%. I definitely feel you on that. So yeah, we're definitely gonna continue chopping it up about this, because I'm telling you, this is exciting, and I'm excited about the fact that it flowed this way, but this is why I never have a question about, why I flow the way that I flow, because these kind of moments, it's just what it is. So I'm glad for this, Marcy, and I'm glad, especially in this phase, because this is the answer. I'm not even saying I do believe it is the answer. Marcy, last thing, and Meyer, just for context, and everybody else that's here hanging out on FB and YT, it dawned on me the other day when someone asked me, yeah, so where do I find your music? And it's just a common question. Where do I find your music? Another question that people might ask me is like, yeah, where do I find that writing that you said? It was so amazing. Where do I find that quote? You know, where do I find that video you're talking about? And I have to point them everywhere, you know. Now, I did build the website, so it was like, okay, you go there. That's why it just makes sense. Because my website is basically what I'm talking about right now. It's just that it's not interactive, because websites aren't that interactive. They don't send you notifications and show up to affirm you and keep you accountable, stuff like that. And it takes too much to try to build something. And people, that's still psychologically, is still a thing where no matter how great you build it, it's about people just going to it. The benefit of the app is that you get to come to people. Marcy, the biggest thing that's going to work for you and me and everyone is when you build the simplest of this, even if it's just your coaching service inside a landing page so that they can click on all the social media platforms from one place, and then your calendar, you having your affirmations in there, the ones that naturally come up for you that you just share, and having that set as a notification where that's a part of it and that pops up, that immediately changes your business. Because all of a sudden at 9 o'clock, you know, Stephanie receives the notification that says, no matter what happens today, keep your head up. It's going to be all right. Just know I'm thinking about you, you know, from Marcy or from, you know, or if it's your business. And that equals comfort. That's self-care around your customer. That keeps them in your mind. That's not traveling through the portal until they get to something that's just like that for you to say to them. So yes, we're here. Meyer, I'm curious if Meyer, if you have any thoughts or, first of all, man, good morning to you, bro. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. How you?
Man, I'm well, bro. I'm in zone right now, bro.
Yes, sir.
Had my wake and bake this morning.
Well.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning, Meyer.
How you doing?
Great.
Yes, sir, bro. As always, man, like, you know, especially getting the opportunity to chop it up with my good peeps, I'm feeling good. And today was just a great moment because I was sharing with everyone about this app concept, this app deal that I'm on that I realized, I really feel like I realized what the future is for all of us as creators. And I realized it myself, you know, in this recent week and that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about it for some time. So yeah, man, just chopping it up on that tip. I was sharing. Yeah. So.
And this is about the app that you were telling us before, where it's gonna be like all your creations kind of in one spot.
In one spot. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. That definitely kicks the shit out of Linktree. I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you, and I'm glad because you literally just summed up everything I just took like 45 minutes to say in one sentence. It literally kicks the shit out of Linktree, and bro, let me tell you how on point this is. So after having this whole revelation of like, boom, it's the app thing, and me being like nothing else, like all the stuff I'm doing on other social media, like I'm gonna continue doing. But every time I do something now, since this thought that I had last week, it all like in the moment when I'm posting, I'm like, this is great, but nothing actually makes sense. It like I could put this in the app, like this could go in that, or this could lead from that. So anyway, as I was thinking about that and knowing that to be what it is, settled into it, I'm like, man, I got to get into this shit right away. So I started looking at my tap link, you know, my Instagram bio, and I use tap link there, and I used to use Linktree. And I was like, this is the closest that it comes to what I'm thinking about. But again, you still got to go through Instagram and scroll through a timeline and search for me and then click another link and then see that shit.
Yeah, it's like 4 clicks. People get bored by that.
Man,
yeah, I like this.
They get bored. They get lost in the sauce. They get distracted. We get distracted. We get just like, man, this is just too much. You know, we get uninspired. You know, and so I always have fun with that journey because that's what's been fun for me over the years when it comes to looking at and learning business. You know, I learned by being able to jump into it in 2007 and just start building my own business. And it was fun as hell. Like, I love that process.
man, it's a whole journey. Like, I'm diving in right now. I registered my business in like 2014, I think. Got re-reg that.
Nice.
But yeah, man, it's like the funnest shit because it's like your baby.
It really is, bro. It's your baby, man. And you know, because of the fact that I got the opportunity at 21 to be a full-time musician and take my 40 hours of work that I was doing at the auto parts store and put that 40 hours into music and production and engineering. And that was with working a new job in that field of music and that kind of thing, where I would be able to do the job in 10 hours a week and spend the other 30 doing what I wanted to do. You know, and I started building in that way. So what it gave me the time to do is have so much fun with trial and error.
It's a heavy work week, though. Sure.
Yeah, bro, to spend 10 hours for a music job and then spend 30 hours doing whatever the fuck I want to do, man, I went bananas on that shit.
Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty sweet.
Oh my God. To study music for 30 hours. Like I used to do, I mean, it'd be all kinds of stuff, man. I would be making tracks, you know, I'd be recording. I'd go down to the church I was working at that time. I'd practice and play drums. I started teaching myself bass. I bought a guitar, you know. Yeah. Yes, sir. It was a great time. And so it allowed me the time to do that. And then also to start building a business, you know, and building a music business, doing those things. And so within that, that's when I realized like the whole thing is about curating your own space, right? And then bringing people into that. And so fast forward, you know, I come all the way back to this TapLink thing and I'm like, man, I love TapLink, but this is still too many clicks. And what I love learning about psychology and business is that the more clicks, the worse. So I always look for like, what's a faster and easier way to get to this? It's still the value. It's still like, it's not, you know, flaky or scammy or anything. Like it gets you to the place. And so that's how we got here, you know. And yeah. Yep.
And like, it's all it's trajectory. And like, firstly, I just like getting the chance from here to apply my stuff.
Yes.
Like, I'm looking at it like, so I'm assessing what you're saying about the app and everything.
Yeah.
And that's something like buzzing in my head. And I'm just like I was trying to solve the Linktree dilemma too.
Yep.
And I was like, I'll just send them to my website. But even that, like, it takes forever to load.
Yep.
Like, and so, like, kudos to you on that. And, like, life's a journey that, like, inspires these kind of, like, lane switches that you would never sort of get if you hadn't worked in a million arenas.
Right.
So, like, it's how it works. It's like, I always say that there's no pointless job. Like, I've worked some dumb fucking jobs throughout my life just trying to support shit, like, dishwashing and all that. But none of those jobs were pointless because they all, in some way, benefited me.
That's it.
Not like financially, but like experientially. Like,
yes.
For example, I think everyone needs to work at least one kitchen job.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
To teach you humility.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Like in Israel, you have to join the army at 18.
Right.
I think here, you gotta be a dishwasher.
Right. That's brilliant. I so am with you on that, and I so get that why you said that.
Right, man. So just that will humble you and everything, and it just leads out to like I ended up doing a video in that restaurant about dishwashing, and that just connects with everyone else who's in that world.
Yes.
Trying to do different things.
Yes.
And man, like 1 in 3 dishwashers are musicians anyway.
Hell yeah, you better believe it. I want to do a quick refresh. We want to say good morning to Nina. Hope I pronounced your name right. Nina, good morning to you. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. We're just hanging out here talking about just all things dealing with legacy and bringing legacy through new ways we're always trying to solve this dilemma of like, okay, how do, in the midst of these cluttered ass environments, how do we actually get our message through? How do we get through what we're saying? So many of us are like, we're doing good jobs. Like we're enjoying, some people run into it here and there and some good leads, but we still all have that one feeling like it's something missing. Like I need this to be more succinct. I need it to be less damn shit that I'm focused on across the platforms. And I got to post here, then I got to copy it there, and then I got to paste it over here, and then I got to, oh my gosh. And that comes from a person that with my strength being disciplined, that comes from a person who every day is doing that and is like keeping up with the hustle. But at the same time though, I'm like, oh shit, this removes the hustle and bustle. This makes it be where, Meyer, when you have your new video that comes out, or your new song, just the fact that with little to no money, with the free version, you can actually have files that are right here stored in this place. So that way people don't have to go anywhere else but Meyer's World. Boom, just hit it. If you want to hear my new song, you ain't got to fish through the timeline. I don't have to hope that you're my friend or we're connected or you see it I don't have to hope that it comes up right before you log off your phone. Like it's different. It's different. Meyer, it's a notification. It's a little number one that's like a particular color like green or something like that. And that's how you know.
Consumer.
Exactly. DT motherfucking C. Because what happens that way, Meyer, for you, for me, for Marcy, for Sherry, for Nina, for T, for everybody that's here, what happens is that at that point, it's not like you gotta hope that this new song, this new course link, this new link to coaching services, this new link to a guided meditation, like you don't have to worry about, I hope that when I put this out, I hope it has enough bells and whistles. I hope the serendipity and the timing is just right, that somebody can be scrolling and they can see it and it catches them just in time. Now that becomes the bonus of the equation. But your super fans, your super clients, your super family, now they just see that and they're not bothered by it, because the only reason why they have you on their home screen is because they care that much actually about what you do. And they have been caring. It's just that when you talk to them and you like, have you seen the joint I put out? And they're like, nah.
They never do.
Marcy is like, when you see the person and it's like, yeah, I just put out a video on that. Did you see it? It would be really helpful. It's like, nah. Sherry is like, it's the product, the service that we put up in the form of refresh. And like, have people seen that? It's like, nah, I missed it. But you don't miss it when you have chosen that to make this person a part of your world because you value them that much. For every last person that's here, think about this, and this last thing I'll say, and then we'll keep it moving. Many of us here use YouTube. We've been using YouTube, many of us, for years, as far as even just watching videos. YouTube came out in, I think it was 2006. I got on it in 2007 and started just perusing it and diving into it and just having fun with it, and then finding my way to using it. Many of you all did the same thing, or a short time later. When we got on this social app called YouTube, many of us hit the subscribe button for every damn person we watched a video for, or for at least 50, or for at least 25. But then when it boiled down to it, though, and when it boils down to it, as far as fast forwarding to this right now moment, you are still subscribed to way more people than you watch every day. But there's 1, 2, or 3 creators that you can't get enough of their content because they speak directly to you. So you have their app. When you open up YouTube, it's at the top as far as your subscriptions, and is ordered by the ones that you click in the most, because that's your world that you go into. So every creator, no matter what you do, what business, product, service, what mission you're on, what you're bringing to life, if it's in the form of rhythm or rhyme, or like, it doesn't matter. There's, for you as a creator, there's somebody out there who you are in that top 5 category as far as that avatar that they look at regularly, that they click on regularly, like a YouTube channel. You are that. So this becomes a focused approach. And I've learned from focused approaches, because that's what allowed me to build a 0 to 6-figure business in 5 years. It was from creating this kind of experience, but it was when you could do that on YouTube, because it was the only place. People weren't everywhere. It was different. So the people that you'd be on their screen, they're your super fan, they're your super client, they're your super customer. You get to serve them more deeply. And then when you meet new people, when they come into the loop and they love you, and they realize that not only are you their cup of tea, but you're their full course meal, then you can direct them right here and nurture them in a unique environment, an intimate environment. So yes, everybody, do this and stay up with me even on these other platforms, because what I'm going to be doing as far as all my content from now on is talking about this, and like, here's the information, here's what I'm learning, here's the video I watch, here's the tools that we're using to figure this thing out. So that's that. I want to do a quick refresh. Hey, Sherry. Please, Sherry. First of all, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Morning, y'all.
Morning.
So, just from a quick technical or nerdy perspective,
right?
If you were to create an app, what happens is that you actually have far more control of your content. I walked in midstream, but I already knew you were talking about that. So that means that you have more control, and I realized this because if you guys get a chance, go look on Netflix. There's a movie on there, or a documentary about kind of the creation of these social media apps and right. how they work and that kind of thing.
Oh, what is it? Wait. Before you, what's the name? Okay, all right, don't worry. But that's fascinating as hell.
I'll find it and give it to you before today is over. But
perfect.
Nonetheless, what happens is the apps, they work on algorithms.
Yeah.
So on YouTube and all of that, you're getting a session where it's looking at what you like and what you don't like, and then it's going to tell you or suggest what your next video should be based
right.
on what you've watched.
Yeah.
And even the creator of that says, don't do it. It's really interesting. Yeah, he was like, don't do it, because the more you do, the more access they have to you, the more they know about you. But what I'm suggesting is that the more you do it, the more the more that you use an app, the more control you have over what you see, and also your fans have more control over what they're going to see.
Yes. And that last part right there is everything. Your fans have control over what they're going to see. That right there, and it's both sides of that coin. But that's what I was saying earlier about this 10% Happier app, and why it got me pulled in so deeply, and why it led me to knowing this about apps for all of us. Because that part right there, all of us as creators have impactful content, material, products, business, and services. It's just that while people are in the midst of that, they're engaged in it, they're loving it, and then after that, they're pulled away. So we don't get a chance for everything to just keep being that one experience. But when you walk into an environment just for that experience, then you are thinking psychologically completely different, which means that if you have beautiful creators like us that create professional and deep driving tools, it means that it's the perfect match for the magic to happen.
Right. So I did find the movie, by the way. It's called The Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma, right? That's the one. Actually, yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah, and if you check out my podcast too, myself and Bobby Bainey, who is a phenomenal woman that owns a marketing agency just outside of Chicago. We do like movie reviews every now and then around these type of movies, and we did a review of it. So you can check that out on my podcast as well. But The Social Dilemma really dives deep into how all of that works. And then The Great Hack, which is probably my favorite, because it really takes you inside of how social media literally is controlling society. The Social Dilemma does as well. That's why it's kind of like the extension of The Great Hack. But The Great Hack more or less leans into how social media tapped into the Brexit exchange. And how it influenced the whole separation and all of that.
See both of those. I know exactly what you're trying.
All right, I know it's not my segment.
Oh no, you good. In fact, no, this was perfect serendipity, because this is actually a great. This is the segment because what we're saying here is actually again something that I really believe is revolutionary. And again, I have these thoughts. I've had them over time about different things, and they wind up coming to fruition. They wind up being the thing that everybody winds up doing, or the market goes in that direction, or whatever. So it's not that, of course, people aren't out there making apps. Like, of course, there's a damn billion apps on that. But from this psychological perspective of us as entrepreneurs, as artists, as businesses and creators and brands, this is the moving forward of what websites used to be when that was the place where everybody would go, and that was where everybody would huddle around, because that was the intimate space and there was no other space. Our own personal apps, because again, the thing here is that you get a chance to create an experience that comes out at the person you're like. When you click on the 5M Experience app, it's going to immediately just autoplay and say, welcome to the 5M Experience. I might even say good morning. It might even, because you can do stuff like create a small audio, file that it just links with the time zone. So whatever it is, like good morning or good afternoon or good evening, and then immediately the affirmation pops up that you wanted and need to hear anyway, and then my music is right there. You don't have to go into outside links, but you can also, in addition to that, of course, there'll be a link there for you to add to your Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that. It's just where you start becomes the more effective meeting place, because we're creating engaging experiences, but they're in environments where there's too much other engagement happening at the same time. So boom, Sherry, you're right on point. And yes, you knew I was talking about the app.
Yeah, I think Maya was about to say something.
Okay.
Oh, I was just saying that I've seen both those movies and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Maya, wait, for real, you're not blown away by either one of those movies, like especially The Great Hack. The Great Hack blew my mind.
Right.
Oh,
I was like, oh shit.
It was fucked up to watch. I was like, oh, okay, this is what kills. This is the Astro.
Right.
I jokingly tell people that I have this conspiracy theory.
She is running for her life because of Facebook.
Scary. I think cell phones are the aliens that are like.
But they definitely are.
Yeah.
They definitely are. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out either one of those, you got to check it out, because they really get into how your cell phones are. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm not afraid of it, because I'm like, you know what? We all are connected one way or another. And if they want your social security number, damn it, anybody who's a really good hacker, they're going to get it.
They're going to get it.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as privacy anymore.
Let me tell you why. And I love that we're having this conversation. I love it. So the main reason why is this. I love how Gary Vee says this, John. Sherry, you know how much of a Gary Vee head I am. Gary Vee says it all the time. He's like, we don't give a shit about privacy. And he says that after people are like, yes, because my privacy, and I can't, like, we don't give a shit about, and he's literally like, I'm speaking for you too. And it sounds arrogant, but when you really think about it, I believe what he's saying, what he's saying is really true. What he's essentially saying is what we care about. He's like, we don't give a shit about privacy. We care about convenience, actually. And it's true, because the thing is, all of us appreciate these tools because of what they allow us to do. We know damn well that as soon as we sign into something, that we're signing into it, our ID is there, our time, our location, all that kind of stuff. All we do at every step of the journey is just figure out and weigh, am I willing to give this up for the benefit that I actually really desire and want? And it's either yes or no. Now, I'm going to show you how granular it goes, because everybody deals with this. Because even if you're a person who say you really, really care, and again, I'm not saying we don't care, like we do care, but in order for you to really steer clear of all of this, is to just literally not have a phone at all, like at all. Because just by having it, you have an automatic tracking and recording device. And again, so yeah, like I'm just like, okay, well, my deal is just like this. It's one of those at the end of the day kind of situations. I'm gonna tell y'all what I believe in most when it comes to this. I actually believe that the best way to protect yourself, like to really secure and protect yourself and cover yourself, is to actually put it all out there. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy. And of course, you know, there's like a, you know, but what I mean by that is, to me, the way that you really keep yourself protected is by it being very clear and out in the open who you are, what you're saying, what you do, and having so much bearing of a witness to that by other people like Marcy and Meyer and Sherry and Tanisha and T and everybody here, my peeps, D-Love, Harrison, Denise Parks, everybody hanging over here. Like, to me, that level of witness is the biggest way to protect your image, because of the fact that this is what's happened to me. When I built Fruition Music, the giving nature of that company and everything that it stood for, it went so deep that even when the platforms changed, even when certain things changed or certain accounts shifted or things changed, people people found me. Like, they hunted me down. And I'm not talking about in a bad way. I'm talking about people hunted me down and was like, all my customers, and then the first question was, where do we continue to pay? Where do we continue to support? Where do we continue to invest? And that's the level that I'm on with this. I'm just like, yeah, at the end of the day, look, if you don't know that you're giving up your privacy and everything with every time you use your thing, you're just naive. But you certainly are in the know and making a decision. God damn it. Marcy, Meyer, what you think? Am I just tripping or?
No, I agree. You gotta put it all out there. Everybody check out my OnlyFans, and
right.
As well as that, I got a bunch of weird message boards I'm into about pyramids being time clocks.
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What we do that's like out there.
They look at the end. They would never be able to say they could mistake what you stand for, what I stand for, what we stand for, because we ain't ashamed of that shit. So yeah, my deal is I rather look at the pros than the cons. The pros are that I get a chance to document my legacy. The pros are that I get the opportunity to connect with people like this in a really dynamic way. The pros are that I get to show my positivity so that even if it's misconstrued or somebody tries to manipulate it, I got so many fucking clones. Y'all know I believe in clones. I believe in cloning. Here's what I'm talking about. Every time you do a piece of content, every time you leave your footprint, you're cloning yourself. So what you do is you create so many clones of yourself that your message can't be misconstrued. Here's the one thing that's true. You know where I document my legacy deepest? It's not on social media. It's not on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok. It's not everywhere like that. It's in your damn hearts. That's the place where can no powers that be erase a feeling that you give a person that they link to forever, which makes them stay linked to you forever, and it makes them fight for you and stand up for you when other people are trying to frame you and all kinds of bullshit. So my deal is that's what it is. And the only other alternative is just I sit myself down somewhere and don't do shit with life. But fuck that. So on that tip, I want to refresh the room and say what's up to Tanisha, what's up to T. If y'all want to come to the stage, by all means, you can. Go ahead and throw up a wave. I also want to say good morning to D-Love Harrison, who says, good morning, King. I appreciate that. And Denise Parks, who says, morning, fam. Thank you. So good to see you. So good to hang out, family. So we're going to keep this thing going. It's 9:06. We're going to keep on going. Sherry, that was totally not only your part of your segment, but that was exactly what we needed to be talking about, because right before you came in, Marcy and I went on a deep dive. Oh my gosh. I had to go back and see the replay. Not only was it a deep dive, but it spoke directly to Refresh. Directly to. And Marcy mentioned something right in the moment that was like, it was crazy. So it's probably one of the next immersive days that you and I need to do around this concept. So, yeah. But at any rate, not only were you talking about these kind of things and just how these help our journeys in different ways, but of course how this thing Clubhouse is helping us in so many ways every single day. So Mondays, the goal is always to go over Clubhouse Town Hall highlights, updates, product info, and all that kind of good stuff. Q&A, desired features, all these kind of things. Our goal is to bring you the information, to be your news reporters when it comes to what happens in the town hall. Because the town hall, I'm telling you, every time I'm sitting in the town hall, by the way, it's noon to 1 every Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, noon to 1, the Clubhouse Town Hall, where Paul, Rohan, and Anu, the founders and developers, they talk to us about everything, and it's amazing. They answer questions and everything. It's amazing. But we know that everybody can't go to that town hall, so our goal is to be that recap, be that source for you. And as I'm sitting there, I feel like we're in the midst of I know that we're in the midst of a historical technological revolution, and I'm honored. So here's where we chop it up. Sherry, did you enjoy the town hall?
I did enjoy the town hall. It was brief this week because they were really talking about how they're just trying to focus on some things specifically. Mm-hmm. But I did enjoy it.
100%. I always enjoy it. One of the things that, I share with Sherry a lot is that being in this particular town hall, I love it because from a psychological perspective, you get to learn so much. You get to see, like they said, there's no such thing as a dumb question, because it makes them think about things from other angles that they never thought of. And you hear them come up with new ideas right in the moment, just because of a question that was already asked for the last 5 damn weeks. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So between that,
I learned to appreciate.
Right. Right. So
it's our different personality types. I'm like,
I love it.
We talk about this other this is
great. Right. And so with that, we're going to talk about a few things, in fact, that flow in that same manner. That's fun and that kind of thing. Check this out. Here's some crazy highlights that I heard, Sherry, I'm wondering if you heard this. And if you didn't, I'm going to laugh at you because it's going to be that ongoing inside joke like, yep, you didn't appreciate it. So check this out. First thing blew my mind. Thousands in a Japanese room helped each other during their 7.5 meter earthquake.
I did not hear that.
That's what.
Was that, you know what? So was that in the beginning before they took questions? Because I came in like 6 minutes after they had started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
I think I came in right when they were finishing up, but I didn't know what they were talking about. So wait, so this was like a Twitter moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Right. It blew me away. They said it was a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, and they said there were thousands in this room that helped each other through it. And they didn't go into deep detail, but everything, from like instructions to like, just breathe, we're going to be all right. Like crazy. So that was amazing. Noelle Chestnut Whitmore, who is like becoming a really, really significant figure in this app. She's someone who I couldn't tell you all the background, but the first time I heard about her was when she had done a campaign to raise over $20,000 for kids to have laptops for kids who needed them for their virtual school environment. And ever since then, she's been a part of almost every major fundraising that's been happening on this app. From the musicians jam, like the Worldwide Jam, where they got 34 countries signed up for it, to the latest thing that they were talking about yesterday, where immediately when this whole Texas thing happened, they reached out to her, and I say they as in some people in the app and that kind of thing. And before you know it, she joined forces for a week-long fundraiser for Texas this week. It's crazy. Crazy. Noelle Chestnut Whitmore. Y'all might as well get used to hearing that name. People like her and Felicia Horowitz and Abraxas and even us. Like I'm telling you, we're going down in history here for some amazing, major things. So that was exciting. Right.
I'm going to semi-apologize. Well, not semi. I have to apologize in advance. I'm actually, I need to get to an appointment.
No problem.
I may be out, but if I'm in the room and not talking, that's because I'm unable to. I'm trying to get directions to where I'm going.
Okay, no problem at all. No problem at all.
Oh, and the Black History Fact is on my page. So if I'm not available when you come up, it's there.
Right. Okay, no problem. So that was really, really exciting. And next week, this week, I'm sorry, you can email townhall@joinclubhouse.com in order for you to submit people who you think should be highlighted as Black creators in Clubhouse. And in the next Clubhouse Town Hall, they're going to do a segment dedicated to just those creators, just naming those creators and highlighting the things that they've been doing in this app. So again, you can send an email to townhall@joinclubhouse.com to put in your submission for who you think has been doing great things in this app of African American descent. They also had there was this Is Kevin Hart funny room where they said it exploded because he jumped in the room. They didn't say what happened. I imagine it was a funny and fun time. But yeah, there was a Is Kevin Hart funny room that happened. I want to say good morning to Lauren and to you. In fact, Lauren and I met yesterday. Good to see you. And so there was an Is Kevin Hart funny room. There was this was interesting too, Clubhouse highlight of an anti-Asian awareness campaign was moved to Clubhouse. Now, I didn't get all the details on that, so I almost feel like that statement almost to me is feeling weird, but there was something dealing with that was like huge. Okay, now here's some other things, and this has to do with the product roadmap, where things are going and what's happening. First off, 10 million users. They're celebrating this week. 10 million users. They continue to focus on scaling, keeping these error messages down, and scaling. Their heads are in the right place when it comes to how you take something that's amazing and successful and how you keep that going in the right way where you focus on what's most important first. There are so many things that's important now because this thing has exploded and we're using it in such a dynamic way that it's developing the product every single moment of every day. And so they're literally a 9-person team keeping up with an app with 10 million users in it. So I will never complain about anything in this app. And I, become so grateful. And they're focusing now on keeping this user experience flowing, keeping these error messages down, focusing on support, the support of trust and safety first, and keeping these servers up. So they're scaling and they're bringing in teams to be able to just keep this heavy load rolling. They're going to be scaling that, and as well as club creation. Yes.
That's just really amazing. 9 people that developed an app. We were just talking about apps and the importance of them. Wow. It's like taking over the world.
And here's the beautiful thing for me about it. It's taking over the world in the best way, because I swear this app is built on the things that we uphold as principles, morals, and values in every area of our life and that we strive to. Like I always say to people, in order to be in this app, you have to actually take another step up the ladder of being yourself. In some places coming out of your shell, and other places being courageous, and other places just being able to say your authentic truth and say it unapologetically. Like works all this stuff we're trying to work on as far as humanity. That's not that you can't do some old crazy shit in here as well. But what I'm saying though is from a spearheading perspective, from the top down, this thing is built on positivity and empathy. So I'm excited about that. Here's some other things to be really excited about. Oh my goodness. In the next release coming up in this next week, we are going to have, see, this is when I got to whip out my drum machine in the upcoming shows. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I need to add it to this setup. So don't worry, I'm coming. I'm putting it all together because I need my horns here. I need drum rolls. I need everything. What we're coming up on in this next release is link to profile. As the crowd goes wild. Okay, y'all stay last crowd. I'm just saying. Okay, Marcy just popped in. I know I'll say it again. And next release, link to profile. Link to profile. Okay, maybe I need to say in that voice. What'd you say, Sherry? Sherry, I think you said I can't wait.
I said I can't with you. You're so funny. Like you're getting the crowd sound. Okay,
right.
Well, listen, if we're on stage, please help this man and give him a crowd cheer.
Look, that's going to be the funny part, right? When we're on stage one day, when we have like the AP morning show, like I want to really, and this is sidebar, what I really want to do to make my biggest dream come true, what I really want to do is in the future have one day where like we can all fly to one location and literally am going to do an event that it will either be our first meeting and it'll be the show, or it'll be something after our first meeting. But like I so want to do this. So when we're on stage one day and the world is able to see the AP morning show in person and just have fun at a show, I'm not even I'm gonna do the sound effects with my mouth the same way. Like crowd goes wild.
The Steve Harvey morning show, I had like a cruise vacation. We're gonna be in Florida, y'all.
Yep, that's it.
We're gonna go to Canada.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. I'm so serious. Watch. And I know it won't be where everybody can be at every location, but that's normal. So the goal would be to just have as many people a part of the show as possible and have fun. But yeah, so I'm excited. I am excited. Link to profile for all of us that's building on this app every day and trying our best to let our broader audience know about it. Link to profile. Oh my goodness. So that's in this next upcoming release. I'm excited about that. And also the link to Club is going to be there. Sherry, higher quality audio, and then higher support for one-off events. I love how they're thinking about one-off events, because they're thinking about it in a way that's very practical in an environment where people are invited in a particular way and where it's a booming environment. So you don't want to come in and be just inundated with everything. You want things to be more focused. When it's your first damn time and you coming into an app that's got 10 million users on it, you want to, if you're coming in for the Aaron Hill Serenade and you are from his, over 100,000 global audience, like, you don't want to come into like follow rooms and come over here rooms and $1 million rooms. You're going to get like overwhelmed and be like, what the fuck is this? If you have a direct link for a one-off event, or a direct link to profile, or a direct link to a particular room, boom. And speaking of which, I forgot to do this. In fact, I'm doing it right now, and you all can follow suit if you're able. Now the link to room deal is here. So all you have to do, if you're trying to be in a room and shoot a link out either to another platform, or shoot it to an email, or shoot it to a text message, shoot it to WhatsApp, Zoom, Snapchat, Medium, Dropbox, you can send it everywhere, is you just hit the ping button, the little plus button, you hit the ping button, and instead of pinging your friends, if you look at the top right, there's a share button there now, and you can share this across platforms. So yeah, I'm excited about this. All right, so next up, a few more things. Definitely going to try to move it a bit along quicker. Their first discovery engineer was hired last week, and they're super excited about building out this discovery team. The room size has now increased, where now you can have the servers now are able to hold up to 8,000 in a room now. The Clubhouse Town Hall Sherry was at 8,000 this last Clubhouse Town Hall. So that's really exciting. And they were saying that it was interesting to them, because they said you can't, when it comes to the servers and that kind of thing, you can't tell how many it can hold. You just got to push it until it breaks. So they said when they first did it, they were surprised, because they're like, wow, we've got, we were able to get, 100 people in the room. And then some more people came in. They were like, oh, wow, it's still working, And so that kept going. They had these numbers like 100, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. So yeah, now it can host up to that. And the highest room so far that you've seen on Clubhouse was a Japanese room with 11,000 people in it. And I do not know, they did not say what it was around. I wish they did say what the subject was. That would have just that would have just been the ice, like not even the ice on the cake. That would have been the cake. Like, they served batter and just didn't give me the cake with that one. But still, like, huge, like, amazing, blown away, so excited about this. A Japanese room with 11,000 people in there. So that's that. And then there was a bit of Q&A, and they're thinking about something dealing with moderators that I think this is really good. They're brainstorming on an idea. Someone asked a question about, like, could it be where moderators have some kind of record where you can see, like, that this person has hosted this many rooms successfully and these kind of things to show, like, that kind of quality system. So they were saying, well, right now the quality system, which is, I think, the best system, even though I do believe you can add things to it, I think it'll be a great addition. But I think the best system is word of mouth, because it still keeps it at the live person, people talking to people. And so if you are a great moderator and people want you, then to talk to others about you and to talk to you and highlight you, I think is the greatest thing. But they are working on some kind of training program or certification program that indicates that a person has gone through a few steps to be a moderator. And that makes sense to me in thought process, because it seems like that would lead to them building in a few things that says, okay, here's what you pass to be a moderator. Like, you got to know how to work these tools, bring up people, how to do these things. And naturally, they would introduce etiquette into that equation too, which is, again, right back to my point again, why I love this app so much. Creator sponsorships, one-off concerts, club subscriptions. That's where the monetization is going to be when it comes first. And I think that's the most brilliant and professional idea for us. And eventually, when this club thing works out, where all of us can have clubs, you can just create it in your own profile, no problem. Where from there, we can do subscription. We can create subscriptions for our clubs. That's great, because again, what I always say about subscriptions is that for all the people that's complaining about the bullshit going on in this app, you're going to be happy when that level of monetization comes around, because most people who are here for bullshit are not going to be willing to pay a subscription to be on their bullshit. I mean, just psychologically, it cleans up the floor a bit as far as people who are here for, things that are not so productive. So club subscriptions, they're going to be looking at, and that kind of thing. Improving social and private rooms options. Many people don't know about social and private rooms. It's another way you can create a room where it can either just be amongst you and a few others that you ping in and not visible to anybody else, or people that are just in your social network. There was a question about why am I seeing this room options, and how to take steps not to see those rooms, like a history or like a something that was an indicator. They thought that was a great idea, a great question. Someone asked about event description after the room starts. That person must have been a duplicate of me, because I've been thinking about that shit forever, where I create a description even for this morning show and other rooms that I do. And after the room starts, I want people to still see that description before they come in. So they're looking at that. Mental health safety. They talked really, really big about the mental health aspect of this app, and already starting to prepare and to put up the proper resources in place to handle with things like grief, and helping us with traumatic things. Like they were talking about the what do they call it? The self-hurt, I think it was. Something just dealing with like hurting yourself. But it wasn't suicide, but you know that was in that vein. And they were just talking about like just how they're looking and starting to build and excited about building those things in place that help us when things happen on this app that are tragic, or things that are, unfortunate, and we have to work through together. You're going to have a list of blocked people and muted rooms soon, which is a big hooray. So when you block someone or when you mute a room, you'll have a history, so that way you can either unblock or unmute, and so you can just pay attention to people and pay attention to rooms, so that way you can be aware of things you're trying to stay away from, especially if they show up in other forms. And last but not least, they want to scale up to unlimited audience rooms. And so that's it for the Clubhouse Town Hall recap. There was two desired things that I desired as features. One, we talked about last week, and I'll still be talking about this because I think it's a great thing. A confirm button before you enter a room. Just a quick, are you sure? In order to prevent from having to clean up misunderstandings that just don't even need to happen, that you can prevent from happening in the first place, especially ones that could have drastic consequences. And as well as for when you're trying to scroll through and you don't mean to go into a room, or you don't realize you're in a room because you tapped it by mistake. Extra confirm by one desired feature. And another one that I think would be a good feature is if you look above our heads, that little piece of paper that's there, that's where the community guidelines are. But it's also in the gear icon in the menu there. I think they should keep it in the gear icon because it makes sense tucked away there. And I think this little piece of paper over the top of our heads should actually be just a simple text doc where we can just take notes right within the app and not have to leave the app like how I'm doing this whole damn time while I'm reading my notes. I have to switch over to my notes and not see the screen. So thank you, Lauren, because Lauren just clapped it up and an affirmation that may be a good idea. So with that, everybody, and I apologize about the length of this. I hope that this will still continue valuable, because I really, really enjoy being able to bring you these updates for you to understand the environment you're in, have better usage of it so you can know and learn how you want to use it better. And I just like being that source of information. So I want to do a quick reset of the room, and let's say good morning to our good friend Lauren. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning.
Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning. Good morning, Lauren.
Can you guys hear me now?
There we go. Can hear you good and clear. Hey, Lauren.
Awesome. Thanks. Sorry, I was having that thing. It doesn't even matter how many times I try to get my headphones to connect to whatever device.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the time, it's like I'm connected to the wrong thing.
Oh my goodness. Look, I understand that all too well. Oh my goodness.
Like, what in the world? And I'm too distracted. People are like, "Are you paying?" Well, just turn it off after you leave the app. And I'm like, "What? Who's doing that?"
Right. that actually brings up one other thing that I think you'll appreciate, and this is in that same vein of the app and using it. So someone asked in the Clubhouse recap room afterwards. They asked a good question when we were talking about products and features that we would like to see. And there was a person that said, I would love to see a mute the room button. And it was like, that makes sense. They were like, yeah, I don't want to leave the room. I just need to mute it right now. So that way, while I'm doing something else, I can mute it just for a second, and they were like, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Being able to disconnect from Zoom audio.
Right.
After a while, you got to learn that trick, because you're like, okay, I need to be here.
Right.
Like my icon needs to stay on the screen, but I got to be on another thing or this or that. So yeah, that would be good. But
right.
Aaron, I feel you. Thinking about facilitating one of these spaces, it blows my mind, because you'd have to be in and out of different things in different apps in order to do it effectively. And we're already just looking at our phone screens, right? You're trying to scroll through and be like, who's in the room? I got to take notes too. I got to do this and that. So
yes.
For the ease of y'all being able to facilitate, that would be so great. It frees you up to concentrate.
It really does. It really does. It's so great. It does free us up to concentrate. It's like this is why I enjoy being in this app, being a part of the conversation, and having the ability to send an email where they're like, look, we are, please keep sending us your emails, because we are so happy. This is how we're developing the app, is basically off of what you all say that you see in your user experience that will be helpful. And so I submitted this question yesterday, and for anybody here who feels the same way, by all means, if you are able to as well, and I'll find I forgot the link. I'll go back and get it. But these features I just think would be good. I mean, if I could, I literally am looking at this piece of paper right now, and I want to touch it, and it magically just opened, and you see the little indicator just flashing, waiting for you to type it. I'm like, yes.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. And when you walk into a room and you're not ready to have a reset, but you're like, oh shoot, a whole bunch of people just came in, and I want to be able to have a landing pad for them, or have this or that. I feel like there could be such cool stuff there to engage audiences.
Right.
But at the same time, I totally get how they're trying to have people focused on talking while they're in the app. And I'm like, ooh, that's another level of challenge where it's like, oh, there is no space to write things down. So it requires you to either space in or space out.
Right. Lauren, let me tell you something. And I love this. I love this confirmation, this validation, this affirmation. This is the thing I love about this. You're connecting right with me in thought. So it's literally the only form of text or type that I think this application should have. Like when we have the conversation, some people are like, yeah, I want a DM, you know, I want to this. I'm like, I get it. But I think that the beauty of this app is that it's very, very simple in nature. And it's us live, either just listening or either communicating. And it allows for other platforms to have use in addition, like they work together instead of just trying to be a catch-all for everything. Like, I don't want any video here. I don't want any photos here. I don't want any text here. I don't want any, because the beauty of this, they said it yesterday. They said we still, even though we created this app, we still are blown away every day at what we already know, but what we continue to see, which is that there is nothing that can replace the actual moment, like the type of experience of in the moment live and human beings talking to each other. Like when I first came into this app, I already knew and I was sold by it, because once I figured it out and I was like, oh, this is it, because it removes the insecurity. It allows us to be in this, and it's passive as I don't know what, because you could be anywhere. You don't have to worry about getting dressed. You don't have to worry about these things. And when I looked at that, I was like, this is great. Now, immediately the closest thing that came to it was like live stream or Zoom. But I was like, this is still even more powerful. And it's for that reason. In a live stream, you are looking at your good people's comments and you're responding back to them, but you don't hear their voice. You don't feel them. And it takes time to contextualize what they're saying and what they mean by their tone and all these things. And so this environment, it's just authentic, you know? So I think that it should never be any DMs, never be any of that, you know, always link out to the Instagram. That's a good thing anyway, because it allows you to see more content, but it not be in this place. So they're staying in that mindset. And the only thing I support as far as text is, just that note, just that little paper as a notepad, and that's it. And then we're good to go. Lauren, it's so good to talk to you. I got you. And again, it's the serendipity and intention and just the beauty of this app. We met yesterday for the very first time, you know, less than 24 hours ago, you know.
And I was already like, oh man, I can't wait to come hang out at the show. And like, it's almost like this is imitating what we're all missing. Like that dopamine hit of like, oh my God, I met someone and I connected with them and we had a conversation. And like, I know their voice that, I don't know, they have really tapped into something here that I didn't even realize how deeply, but I talk to my students about this all the time, working with college students who are like, I don't know if there's like a sadder group of people who come into meeting spaces now, and they're like, we thought that college was going to be so different. Now this is what we do, right? And I'm like, I tell them, I'm like, no, I feel you. I miss sitting in a coffee shop on campus and someone walking by or popping in and being like, oh my gosh, hey, don't you work with whoever? Meet this person. Like that spontaneity. And that's what this feels like. I'm like, oh, I met Aaron on campus yesterday. So,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it creates warmth, right? It's not like we met through a one-way interface where like Aaron is removed from, he is the performer or the giver, keeper of knowledge and information. It's like, no, you're shared in that space. So that was immediately what drew me to this. And I was like, oh no, I think I'm going to be hooked on Clubhouse. Just like, so no, I'm so glad that we were in the same room when we met, because I was like, yes.
You know, it's the most focused. Right. Like we met at the coffee shop, you know, met in the hallway, met on campus. And the beauty, so I write original quotes. And in fact, I'm going to go to a few in a second as we just kind of have some fun conversations and continue to have this beautiful, spontaneous and improvised as well as orchestrated experience. And so, I'm a person where I'm always about a good thought. And so one of my number one quotes is serendipity plus intention equals life. And it's literally wrapped around all moments in life, like all things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I love when these kind of moments happen and sharing that thought. Serendipity plus intention equals life. I'm scrolling down the hallway. For everybody that's here, here's how Lauren and I met yesterday. That's why I laughed when you said, like, this thing could be addictive. Because I'm like, yeah. As soon as I got into this app, I created this concept. It just said, hi, good morning. I'm your 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time accountability partner, December 15th. And from there, what I knew was the serendipity plus intention would be that what I was doing was intentionally regridding my life, especially coming through this time where we had to be in flow in order to bend with the changing winds. And so with that, here I find myself ready to take this app, seeing what it is, seeing the potential, getting it even before I get into it. And I put it in place as my 7:30 alarm. And for others who I knew could relate to getting up, getting their day started, having an accountability partner, so forth and so on. And so it turns into this experience, turns into my show. From there, I look at it and I say, okay, I want to immediately use this for accountability and for being disciplined, because I already know I can be on this thing day and night. This is a good problem to have. I'm calling this the world's 6th degree of separation remover, the no excuser, the ability to find your tribe because of the fact that it's all live. And then in addition to being live, it's in real time. I'm yesterday doing something that is, again, something I strategically do from now on, and which is that I'm not out here in these Clubhouse streets. But yesterday, as I was leaving the town hall, in my mindset of let me see what the psychology of things is going on. Let me learn from it. Let me soak it in. Let me see what people are doing. I'm scrolling down the hallway and I'm seeing the norms, right? The beautiful norms, the extremes, everything from the room where, people are building about, just finding themselves and finding new jobs, to the room that's like follow for follow, or you're going to make your next $1 million by walking in this room, and all the in between, the ebb and the flow. And so I value intimate experiences. I value experiences where it's not a whole lot of people. One, that's the introvert in me. Two, I'm a person that builds tribe one by one, because I understand that to go deep as far as a relationship, go for depth as opposed to width. Go for depth as far as how you can connect with a person, not width for how many people you could just be popular with. So I scroll down the hallway, and of course, because this thing is geared towards lines, and these things are geared towards like these different topics that we can relate to, and that's how we find each other. I see emotional intelligence. I see a room where there's only a handful of people. I'm like, boom, here we go. So I'm making my business to go in the room, and then and I know when I'm walking into this, I know what it is. It is me knowing it before it manifests. I'm walking into a room that's my tribe, even though we haven't met yet, right here at this particular time. Now we're about to. And we have an amazing time. And all of us connect in some way from there. And then you show up here. And so here you are, Lauren. And here we are.
Magic. It's like the chemistry of the universe.
That's
I
it.
know. It's really.
That's it.
And like I wandered into that room too. I was
right.
like, that is. There's just something that feels so satisfying after so long being separate from the spontaneous social,
yes.
Yeah, the opportunity for serendipity, right?
Yes.
I don't know, the opportunity for chaos. Oh my God, rolling into a space and being like, it makes me so happy. Yes.
It makes me too. So I want to welcome you to the family, welcome you to the AP family. You can actually see some other people, some other beautiful faces pop in here. in a few. But this is so exciting. And by all means, continue to be a part of this convo. I'm actually about to share a few thoughts that really are connected to even some of the things we were talking about yesterday. And so it's great to see you. And oh man, this is exciting. Yes. And I want to do a quick refresh as well. Say good morning to my peeps over here on FBYT. Here's a few thoughts for you. And again, you'll see this very soon as far as right up close and personal. Right now, it's on medium.com. So if you go to Medium or download the damn Medium app, y'all see, so for those that have been here with me from the beginning, now you understand, you're like, yeah, so go download that app because I'm going to be mad about every other app until my app is surfaced. No, but you can find me on medium.com. I'm at Aaron Hill TV, same name everywhere. And this is where these writings and these quotes come from. But soon, yes, you will see them pop up right on your screen in the 5M Experience app by Aaron Hill. Check this out. Be careful and sure that you're being your own first aid and not your own worst aid. Don't add to the triggers already affecting you. Here's another one that I just said. Here we go. Serendipity and intention. Again, go for depth as far as relationships, not width, for how many people that you can be popular with. Go for depth as far as relationships. And speaking of relationships, if you have a second right now while you're in this experience, and if you click on my Instagram bio, you're going to see a link there right under my mug, my revealing mug, where it says Aaron Hill Sentiments. And if you click that Aaron Hill Sentiments, you're going to see a pillow pop up. And that pillow has me and my mom on it. I call it the mom pillow. It's me and my mom outside during this quarantine time doing what became our just natural response to COVID, which was that we found ourselves bringing our gifts to the world in a unique way. I'd find myself outside doing over 110 concerts, piano concerts around my community and abroad called Street Serenades. And my mom would buy an adult coloring book in March. This is something to pass time. And then as time passed, she would make over 500 original artwork pictures and be bringing so many smiles to faces and make thousands of dollars off it. And my mom has never even considered herself an artist. And so that pillow, we were in one of those experiences. We were at Sedamo Coffee, and we were with the people. I was playing the piano. She was drawing and painting, and she had her things there. So that's the mom and I pillow. I'd rather fail than to regret never trying. When you have good intentions, there's no need to be apologetic about who you are. Take solace. Learning to accept the destination as the journey, it means to always be open to new understandings, new revelations, new information, and new outcomes to what you may have thought would be a different way. As long as you do this, you'll be realistically applying the only consistent fact in life. The only thing that's 100% consistent in life is change. Like Bruce Lee put it, be water. Allow yourself to mold and shape with the different changes in life. It may not be easy, but it's doable. And it's the only thing that makes sense in the long run. This is the only way to achieve true harmony and peace in life. Again, be water, my friend. I love Bruce Lee. So I took martial arts between the ages of 9 and 14. At 9 is another credit to mom again. I go to my cousin's birthday party. His birthday party happens to be at Kim's Karate, where we get a free martial arts lesson. And that's where we had the party. Kudos to mom and kudos to his mom for the way that they thought about that. That put us in an environment where we had fun, but it also led to our next level of emotional intelligence at 9 years old. So between 9 and 14, I would go from entering martial arts, going all the way to black belt. I don't think about that enough. And the interesting thing is I think about it enough, but I don't have the memories. My memories got unfortunately tossed away. But the memories that I have in my mind and what it means to me as I look at where I am now, it's a big thing. So Bruce Lee is one of my favorites, and his thought, be water. So with that, I just want to kind of open it up for a second to see if there are any thoughts that resonate with that or anything else that I just shared with these writings, with these thoughts. Are you water today? Are you water? Try to be water every day, and just flow. What you all think? What does this resonate for you? I'm going to open it up a bit and dialogue about this.
All I got is I'm trying to deal with the ebb and flow. Like some DJs turn to webisodes.
Bars. Bars.
Stays with the bars.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
If it ain't bars, it ain't
By the show.
Right. The only realistic thing in life is change, and so to me, that's what it is. Here's another one. I think you all like this. You've heard me do this before, but I like this one. Be a living palm tree. I need to put up my palm tree profile pic on the app real quick. Let me see if I can find that. Be a palm tree. Once again, the only consistency in life is change. So be like the palm tree and change with the bending winds. The reason why is because bending keeps you from breaking. Change sometimes comes slowly. Other times it comes swiftly. The best thing to do is to take on the character of the palm tree. If you flow or bend with the changing winds, you'll be doing the only realistic thing that's key to survival, because bending absorbs the tension of change. Many people say that women innately have this ability due to their natural genetic makeup. And that many people is me, myself, and I. It's a key ingredient to birthing and nurturing. At any rate, any of us can benefit from this perspective or mode of thinking. When changes happen in our society, job, home life, etc., learn to accept the fact that change many times means evolution. And though it may be rough, evolution is always geared towards giving the evolved more equipping characteristics for the next level of survival. So, be a living palm tree. And if you do a quick PTR, you're going to see the palm tree. You're going to see my palm tree pic. So check that out, quick PTR. Does this resonate? Lauren, does this resonate with you? Love it. So this is one of my favorite quotes. Again, just because I can't learn it enough. I was talking about it yesterday in the 5M experience. Yesterday we talked about stress resilience as a skill. Again, the 5M fellowship is every Sunday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Clubhouse. as well as everywhere else. And those 5 M's are music, movement, meditation, mindfulness, mantra. It's basically what I've been rambling about all morning, which you're about to see in the form of an app. So we were talking about it yesterday, stress resilience as a skill. In fact, I might even pull it up and dive back into it. Why not? It's a fun conversation. And with stress resilience being a skill, it's one of those things where in order to build this skill, got to have acceptance, got to be able to bend with the changing winds. And I was saying, you look at the oak tree is super solid. In fact, I just visited recently some great oak trees. You like to see them? click on my IG. You'll see a couple videos near the top. And these trees were amazing. Tallahassee, biggest trees. One was at this place called. What was the name of that place? On Thorpe. It'll come back to me, but it was a place that was owned by a professor who saw this oak tree and decided like this land was so amazing that she had to build around it. But besides that, the thing about the oak tree is that it's a strong tree. So when the winds come, it's nothing. It's able to take on those winds without a problem, except for when the winds get so high that this oak tree needs to actually bend so it doesn't break. That's what the palm tree has the advantage. So think about how we bend. Bending doesn't mean giving in. It just means being flexible and flowing with. So we talked about that, and we talked about this idea of stress resilience as a skill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually jump into it. I'm going to give some thoughts and some ideas about stress resilience as a skill. Here's the first thing. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. It's called practice for a reason. The changes take place physiologically, mentally, and emotionally over time. It takes an ongoing, sustained practice to develop this resiliency. Here's a few practices. In order for me to stress better. I say that intentionally. Stress is one of those things that's a very natural thing to who we are. It's the reason why we can actually have a conversation right now, because we have a nervous system that reacts in particular ways under justifiable reasons for that adrenaline rush and unjustifiable reasons. We're trying to get rid of the unjustifiable, those reasons, the unjustifiable. But we're trying to take our stress and allow it to be a body reaction that only happens when it is a life or death situation, and we need that kind of reacting to get out or to help or to save. Everywhere else, it is debilitating for us, and it's allowing us to stress over things that we don't need to. So here's some practices from me to you. Number 1, pause. Number 2, tune into your body. We call this interoception. The ability to feel what you feel, what you feel, what you feel, what you feel. Interoception is paying attention to the body and paying attention to the signals that we hear and we both don't realize and don't seemingly hear from day to day, but actually they're there. They show right back up. It's just how you're tuning in. So tune into your body. Number 3, reframe your relationship with stress. Reframe your relationship with it. I just hit it on the front end by saying that stress is one of those things that a lot of times we just kind of do this catch-all kind of umbrella thing. Stress is terrible. You don't need it. It's like, but let's talk about it more realistically. Let's reframe our relationship with it so that way we can get rid of the debilitating stress. This is another big one. Number 4, open up to difficult emotions. That could be a toughie because, of course, the tendency is if you're experiencing something that's uncomfortable or difficult, is to tense up, is to run away from it. Again, this opening up doesn't mean compromising. It doesn't mean giving in or giving up. Opening up is not the same thing as giving up or giving in or compromising. Opening up means actually just the acceptance with the fact that this is difficult. That's literally that's it right there. That settling in automatically allows for a level of de-stressing because that acceptance allows you to relax for a second so that you can gather your thoughts and gather your emotions to see how you're going to go forward. So, considering opening up to difficult emotions to observe them is important. Number 5, practice self-compassion and compassion for others. Self-compassion is one of those things that is tied into what this whole mindfulness thing is all about. Mindfulness is about not judging you. It's a way to still be able to see yourself through and be on yourself about things that you need to without beating yourself up and having negative self-judgment. Managing stress is the work of a lifetime because stress is a natural part of life. You will get better over time. Use curiosity to consider how stress shows up for you. Ask questions like, how do I feel right now? How do I typically deal with this? Without judgment, ask yourself, do these things work? Will they help me out in the long run over time, or are they detrimental? Consider and meditate on how you would like to respond to stress. Imagine yourself staying connected to your body during stressful times. Imagine yourself monitoring your sensations. Sometimes I envision this as like, if you imagine a river or a stream, but let's use a river, something that's moving a little bit more fast. If you imagine a river, you have 2 ways of experiencing that river. You could either be in the river, moving with the current, or being pushed by the current, especially if this is like a pretty moving stream. Or you can be on the side, sitting in your chair or laying on your blanket, observing the stream, where you can observe the stream without being in the stream, being carried away by the stream. That's a whole different reality right there. And I've always envisioned it that way. I see our thoughts, all the happenings in our minds as just a stream. And I either experience it where I'm caught up, being washed downstream by all those things, or right outside of it where I'm observing it and not letting it carry me away. So that way I can make decisions on it. I can reach in it if I need to, like whatever I need to do, but I'm separate from the stream. Can you make the intention of practicing just taking a deep breath from time to time when stress arises?
Aaron,
yes.
I was listening to your voice. Okay, so I was trying to brush my teeth and like get myself together, and then I got listening to your voice and I started to journal. And now I'm late for my work meeting. but like we need to connect on that thought, because I love that image that you just painted of like this. It's like a river of energy, or this like, oh gosh, they talked about a weather phenomenon that's happening right now in an atmospheric is an atmospheric river, and it occurs because of all of these weather patterns, but it's happening in Washington State and Oregon right now. And I was like, oh man, there's a river in the atmosphere that you could like reach into at any moment, and river is life, right? River is energy. Oh man,
isn't that something? I love it. No, look, let me tell you something. I love that you shared that. I love that you got so caught up.
I know. I was brushing my teeth and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get myself ready for the day. And then you started to like, I was like, oh no, I can feel myself going in a wormhole. I can't resist. Why do we resist when good creative energy happens? Like, that's the way the brain to be productive and need to be creative. And my team will know exactly what I mean as they're calling me into this meeting, and they're like, why are you running late? And I'll be like, it was a moment.
And look, tell them, if you want to know what that moment is, it's called the AP Morning Show. Tune in from time to time.
We could meet in here, you know.
Right.
Because what we're talking about from the checklist is not nearly as like, this is the space that matters, right?
Wow.
It's our agendas.
Yes, it is. I honor you, right? I so honor you. Look, I appreciate you. This is amazing, and I thank you for even sharing what you shared. You know, again, I always say I do the things that I do because I'm aware of it. So when beautiful things happen in life, I'm never surprised. I'm just always amazed. So I just want to thank you for that. And
thank you. It's because you're standing at that river all the time. So like, stay tuned for reflection of some kind.
Yes.
Like, your wall, your post, I don't know, like that. So thank you. And Marcy and Meyer, I hope you guys have awesome generative morning spaces too. And all right, I'm gonna like slide into this meeting.
No problem. I will see you soon, Lauren. And what you can look out for is at some point, look out for my first Instagram post. I'm going to put everything I'm saying about the stress resilience as a skill as my first Instagram. I'm working on it now, so I'm going to put it up while we're here talking. So look out for that, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, thanks for holding space. All right, take good care.
Yes. See you soon, Lauren. All right now. Yes. So good, family. I live for that, y'all. I live for it. OMG. Marcy, Maya, how you guys feeling?
I'm feeling just great. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I went to my meeting and I left early because I just need to be here and I need to really be in the present and recognize what I'm trying to do for myself and how impactful it is. I've got to get myself situated, and it's just like, wow, this is kind of my place of getting it together to start my day.
Right. So powerful. So powerful. And I'm telling you, I'm so filled up right now, and I'm excited about giving you all the rest of this. I think it's so on time. Maya, how you feeling, bro?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just hanging out with y'all.
Yes.
Kind of vibing out on piano, rediscovering the fun parts of it.
Yeah, son. Let's get
That's
it.
what I'm with.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, fam. Let's get it. Oh, man, this is so good. And again, because I know how helpful this is right now. And here we go. So I was on, this was number 3 in that process of consider and meditate on how you would like to respond to stress. So these are different ways to respond to it. And number 3 I'll recap them. The first was imagine yourself staying connected to your body during stressful times. Second one is imagine yourself monitoring those sensations. And I like this because even what you just said, Marcy, right now, and even what Lauren just said, and what Myra's doing, what I'm doing, we're all actually on this same place of like this inner thing right now. And this is where we should be. This is why I've been saying over and over and over and over, that this for me, I'm aware of how when it comes to productivity in life, it's not just about working and going hard at it. It's about these moments, because these moments is what makes the work intentional. So we're not just spinning our wheels doing shit that we really don't want to do. We're actually taking that time. It's like that measure twice, cut once thing, but in a much just deeper, more vast way. So that's what it is. We figure out these things, and then they help us to figure out all the things and keep this thing flowing called life. So the third one was, can you make the intention of practicing deep breathing, practicing just taking a breath when stress arises? Number 4, set a goal to make space for whatever is happening, even if it's uncomfortable, knowing that you are building your capacity in doing so. Imagine cultivating a habit of practice and practicing curiosity about your stressing as opposed to judgment. Imagine cultivating that process, a healthy habit of being like Curious George. I used to read those little Curious George books when I grew up. I used to love them. Once again, thanks, Mom. As opposed to judgment. That's what's happening right now. You're not judging yourself right now for being in this moment. It's allowing you to be curious. Number 6, can you make the intention to open up to different emotions when stress arises? Remember this, you are building emotional resiliency when doing so. So continue to set goals. Be gentle with yourself in the process. Appreciate the small successes and steps forward. But most importantly, thank yourself regularly for taking the time to put your self-care first. And that can't be overstated. Again, it's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about building this app. One of my most exciting features about this that I know it won't be hard to do because it's just a basic drag and drop thing is I'm an accountability partner. So in addition to all the things that I put out on social media that are motivational and those kind of things, I want a way for you to feel good about yourself. Like I want to have something that's like a reward system. And what I mean by reward is like in this 10% happier app, every time you finish a lesson, it congratulates you and it shows you a screen real quick that shows you your progress, all the time you spent in this thing and just how well you're doing. And so this topic of self-care, what I found is that one of the number one goals as far as reaching these next levels of self-care is doing the self-care in the process of thanking yourself, because that makes you feel good about yourself and it keeps increasing your vibe and your mood, so that way it flows into the things you're trying to do. So don't take it for granted. Continue to thank yourself regularly for taking the time to put your self-care first. What you're doing right now, Marcy. What you're doing right now, Maya. What I'm doing right now. What Lauren just did. Where she got her fill up and was like, yeah, I'm just going to have to be a couple minutes late. Because right now, I'm caught up in a trance. We are in this thing. So that's what it is. So stress resiliency. Stress resilience is a skill. I wrote that on January 4th, 2020. And like I said, the thing I'm getting ready to do right now is I'm getting ready to put up a new status with this on it. And you'll be able to see it in a few. We're going to hang out for about another 15 to that 10:30 time. And this is really exciting. I tell you all, I can't. I get my fill up every morning here. Every morning. If there's anything that's on your mind right now that you'd like to share, I love to be able to continue to chop up. I love it, Maya, that you're over there on keys. In fact, I need to give you the keys to this damn song, bro. Play, bro. Play.
Oh yeah, what key are you in?
In fact, let me turn my piano on. I'm gonna turn my piano on too, so I could remember my own chords real quick.
That's always how it is.
It's always how it is. All right, I'm gonna tell you this in a few seconds, Mike. It's so long since I played this. What's that last one? Okay, so I got all my own chords except for that last one. Hello to Michael. Thanks for hanging out. This is right on point because I'm about to give you this, bro. I'm gonna play actually for a little bit. I'm gonna improvise on this. Let me just see what this last chord was again. For those that don't know, it's always like that as a musician. You write some things, and then after a while, like you got to go back and teach yourself your own music. All right, so let me get this last chord right here. All right, I got it, fam. I got it. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play over top of this. Check this out. Let's have some fun. Get my camera focused. Thanks, peeps. Thank you. Check this out. We'll take a quick solo. yeah, so thanks for man, they just made me relearn my own song, bro. Thanks, Meyer. Man. Okay, Meyer. So I want to shoot you. Let me ask you a question, Meyer. When it comes to keys, can you, if I send you like notes, can you actually like, do you know your notes on the keys to where if I send you chords, you could play like just chords, like literally just the letter names? Meyer, you still there, bro? Meyer must be in the zone. Marcy, what'd you think of that? Did you enjoy that?
I did. I really did. I really like to hear the two of you kind of come together to put music. I think that just sounds so dope that he's able to pick up what you're doing and vice versa. It just sounds so great.
Yes. We definitely gonna do a collaboration. The other day, when we were here, Tanisha was here, and were you here that day when Tanisha spit that fire over my track? Were you here? That was amazing.
I wasn't. I'm so sorry I missed it.
It's all good. I want to actually send you. Are you on? We connected on Facebook already, or?
No, we're on IG. I didn't connect with you on Facebook, but I will right now.
Okay, I'll send you. When you do, I'll actually tag your name under the vid just so you can see the vid. It was amazing. What came out of it? It was an amazing moment. So I've been, helping Tanisha to just get back into her creative flow and her juices with her poetry flow and that kind of thing. And so things have been bubbling for her, and she was driving to work the other day, and we were talking about a subject where I was like, do you have anything that you could share with us? And she had been working on some things, but she was a little hesitant. We wound up working through where she let the moment flow and let go of her fear, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And I wound up playing my song in the background that's called November Night's Dream. And this whole moment was created. It was beautiful. And I told her right after that, she pulled over while she was driving on the way to work, and we laughed. We were tripping. And I told her, I was like, I want to get together with you and actually make a song out of what just happened. Just you doing what you just did over my song. Boom. And she was like, oh my goodness. Like, she was blown away. So Meyer, definitely trying to connect with you, bro, in this thing. I'm going to do some collaborations with family, and I'm so excited about it. So yeah, that's definitely gonna happen, Marcy. Meyer, you game for that,
dope,
bro?
That is dope. I'm looking for you on Facebook and I don't see you.
Okay, so I'm at Aaron Hill TV. Yeah, so if you type Aaron Hill TV on there, you'll find me there. And I'm actually right now broadcasting on both public figure and on the private page as well. So yeah, that was that. Meyer, you down for a collab, bro? I definitely want you to spit some fire, man, over one of my tracks. So I love that. And yeah, that was cool too. Now I'm gonna shed on my own song, practice that later. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun, fam. And so we're gonna wrap up in a few minutes. This has been really good. Marcy, I couldn't be more grateful for just how this whole morning unfolded for us. Could not be more grateful, because I know how monumental it was just in this short span of time. From us talking about apps and new ways of doing things that are more effective in that way, to just digging into being in the moment and being like, this is more important than anything else, especially for the bigger picture. Because honestly, if you spend twice the amount of time on the pondering process and the structuring and the imagining process and really going inward as far as how you feel and what direction you should go in, it means that moving forward becomes way more intentional, way more direct. You become way more successful just from that process, because you took the time to give yourself what you needed, so that way you didn't have to keep spinning your wheels So I just honor you for that. And I really just honor this moment for that reason. And same to Lauren as well. Same. And of course, to you, Meyer, as always. Good time, fam. Good time. So yeah, fam, on that tip, we're going to wrap this experience up. And let's see, what did I have here? Remember, in fact, I'm gonna read this. This was from the first point in the stress resilience topic. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And then that connects to this other thought that I have around. Let's see, I pulled it up yesterday. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Aaron Hill Surfer relates to the surfboard as well. So I want to close on this thought. Let's see. Okay. Those that accept evolution survive and grow. Those that don't. A wave can come crashing down on you, or it can be the momentum under your surfboard to ride high to success. The choice is yours. And that's whether you're currently a surfer or not. And so I close on that thought because that's what we're doing. We're standing in the midst of realizations and all of that goes with the comfort, the discomfort, and everything. And we're just deciding to continue to be surfers and just say, look, once I figure out something, I just got to ride the wave of it to let it be the momentum forward because I have to move forward. I have to see my dreams through. I have to see myself through. Nobody else is going to understand what I need but me. So I can't expect my job, can't expect my family, can't expect my loved ones to understand what's deep in my heart and what I need to see more than me. Can't expect it. So with that, fam, I thank you for honoring yourself. And I thank you for honoring me. And I thank you for us honoring this space. And so, yeah, I hope that you all have an absolutely amazing day today. I want to say thanks also to all my peeps on FB and YouTube. Thanks so much. And Marcy, Meyer, much love, fam. Much love.
Thank you so much. I affirm you to have an awesome, wonderfully blessed day today.
Thank you so much, Marcy. And as always, it's great to continue to build on this journey called life together with you.
Yes.
Meyer, peace, bro. Talk to you soon, fam. Hope you have a great one. All right, everybody. Till tomorrow. Take care.